Tonight's invocation will be led by Commissioner Stafford and the pledge to be led by Commissioner Baker. Please join us.
Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us to this place in good health this evening. We pray that you would help us be mindful of our charge as both citizens and servants in this community. We ask that you grant us wisdom and grace that is consistent with our responsibilities as we gather this evening. We ask these things in the name of the Lord. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Planning Commission meeting for February 10th, 2022 is now called to order. We encourage you to wear a mask while indoors and observe the 6-foot social distancing. When your name is called, please come to the podium, address your comments to the Planning Commission, not to the audience. Any questions you ask will be answered once everyone who has signed up to speak has spoken. We understand that you may have strong feelings one way or another. Out of courtesy, unless it is your turn to speak, please remain silent. Please refrain from applauding, cheering, booing, or other verbal outbreaks. This is a fact-finding hearing. If a previous speaker has stated the points you wish to make, you simply acknowledge that so the hearing may proceed. There is no need to repeat what has already been said. The applicant will have 5 minutes to speak. All others will have 3 minutes. Please respect the time limit. If you intend to speak, please sign up at the table in the back of the room. Names will be called in the order on the sign-up sheet. Mr. Starter, will you please call the roll?
Ramick? Oh, here. Erickson?
Present.
Janet? Stafford?
Present.
Baker?
Present.
Gerke?
Present.
Greenway? White? Walker? Here. Hobby?
Present. May I have a motion to approve last month's minutes and a second?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda and a
So
second?
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The agenda is approved. The next item on tonight's agenda is new business. There will be an opportunity for the applicant and for the public to provide testimony. Director Selman, would you introduce the next item?
Thank you. Applicant Rico Harris with Harris Architecture, representing property owner Third Day Realty, seeks Article 2 large-scale development site plan review approval for the demolition of the existing Hogs Pizza Pub restaurant and new construction of Kalua's Mexican Restaurant and Cantina on the subject property. The subject property is 2.66 acres, located at 1442 Airport Road. The property is outside the City of Hot Springs limits, but within the city's 1-mile planning area. It has a future land use classification of linear commercial corridor and is located in Garland County.
A motion merely gets the matter onto the floor for discussion. A motion to approve and second does not mean that you are necessarily in favor of the particular application. May I have a motion to approve item 1?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Planning commissions, please hold your questions until everybody has presented. Director Selman, would you please present the staff report on item number 1?
Yes, thank you very much. The subject site is on the even side of the 1000 block of Airport Road, and surrounding land uses are to the north, Lake Hamilton and Lake Ridge Estates subdivision, to the south, Airport Road, which is Arkansas State Highway 70, and John Gibson Auto Sales, to the east, Harbor Condominiums and Helm Shopping Center, and to the west, vacant, undeveloped land. The proposed building is 20,000 square feet with lot coverage of 17%. The parking plan illustrates 168 spaces, 7 of which are fully accessible and 1 is van accessible and meets the requirements for the Americans with Disabilities Act. Very recently, we've received comment from Harbor condominium owners. They are located to the east of this project. Their comments include the proposed 20,000 square foot size of the restaurant bar, high traffic volume and noise. Notice of application was not provided to them, that this project is within the planning area, concern of the dumpster location and regarding boat access. The subject site in the Airport Road 70 West corridor was designated commercial on the future land use plan map in 1997. Boat access or anything lakeside is under Entergy's authority, and Planning Commission is neither able to approve nor to deny activity on Lake Hamilton. Unincorporated Garland County does not have zoning that would limit use or the size of proposed development. Public notice is not required with a site plan application, although we posted a yellow sign on the property and published notice of the application in the Sentinel Record newspaper. Hot Springs Code, Section 16421, gives the City of Hot Springs Planning Commission authority to review this application as follows. Large-scale development projects and multiple structure projects in the City of Hot Springs planning area involving the construction of 2 or more structures, together with necessary access drives, easements, utilities, parking, landscaping, pedestrian circulation, and building locations shall be subject to the provisions of this section. Additionally, large-scale developments include all Group A assembly classifications. The proposed restaurant and cantina is classified as A assembly occupancy, as was Hogg's, the prior restaurant bar or existing restaurant bar. Deputy City Manager Denny McFate and City Engineer Gary Carnahan reviewed the project in detail and responded to a letter from Ms. Cherie Alt, who questioned the traffic situation. Their response said, "It takes a lot of traffic to change a traffic study result. As you know, they use the ABCD rating system for determining whether an intersection functions in an acceptable manner or not. It focuses on waiting time. So almost every traffic study I have seen will basically say the intersection functions at this B, C, or D level, but it does function. And then it takes a lot of cars to change that." In this case, a traffic study will likely point out that the traffic count causing the rating is not from the parking lot, but from traffic on Airport Road. And because there are existing businesses along Airport Road with similar driveway intersections, it would be difficult to start here with denying the driveway intersection altogether. They say that we should require, as we have, that they have a right turn exit lane and a left turn exit lane. And that has been depicted on the site plan. That way, if some of their traffic wants to exit to the right, they won't have to wait for a car that is trying to exit left. Mr. McFate and Mr. Carnahan say they do not think it is practical to require a right turn exit only here because there is no other nearby route to take travel north toward the city. The finding is that the proposal to demolish the existing Hogg's Pizza Pub restaurant and construct a new Kalua's Mexican restaurant and cantina, site plan and other materials comply with the requirements of Hot Springs Code Section 16422 and with other Hot Springs codes applicable to this review, subject to compliance with conditions of approval, of which there are 11 proposed, and I will read those. The recommendation is to approve the Article 2 site plan SPA 21-194 to demolish the existing Hogs Pizza Pub restaurant and to construct a new Kaluas Mexican restaurant and cantina at approximately 1442 Airport Road, subject to these conditions, because when these conditions are applied, the application complies with the requirements of Hot Springs Code Section 16420. The conditions are, number 1, the development site shall be constructed and developed in strict accordance with the approved site and development plan, including, but not limited, to the location of buildings, drives, parking, and landscaping. Number 2, all construction and construction activity are to be accomplished in strict accordance with all applicable approval conditions and with the minimum standards, codes, rules, and regulations and policies as may now or hereafter be required or enacted by the City of Hot Springs, the State of Arkansas, and/or the United States of America, including the Arkansas Fire Prevention Code, whether or not submitted for staff review or for Planning Commission approval. Number 3, city utilities will require, number 1, an engineer's utility plan which shows the domestic water service line from the repurposed existing water meter to the building and show this meter connected to the tap on the city water main at the street. The plan shall also show all of the water meters at the property boundary at the street. Number 4, required permit shall be in hand for Garland County Stormwater, Garland County Floodplain Administrator, and Arkansas Department of Transportation prior to any work beginning. Number 5, all exterior lighting shall be fully downcast, full cutoff fixtures, and shall contain all illumination on the subject property. Comments from 70 West Fire District came in late, but are added to the recommended conditions. As the Arkansas Fire Prevention Code applies statewide, these are not additional requirements per se, but will document their applicability to Site Plan Approval 21-194. Number 6, a fire sprinkler system is required. Number 7, provide a minimum 36-inch clear unobstructed space around the fire hydrant and any connections that are 2.5 inches in size. Number 8, provide a minimum 60-inch clear unobstructed space in front of connections 2.5 inches or larger. Number 9, all apparatus access lanes and roads shall comply with all applicable codes and standards. Number 10, a complete set of building plans shall be submitted to 70 West Fire Protection District for review and approval by their Prevention Division. Number 11, the dumpster pad adjacent to Harbor Condominiums has been removed from the plans and new plans submitted. The dumpster now is at the east end of the property, away from Harbor Condominiums. The conditions numbered 1 to 11 have been reviewed by the applicant's design professional, and Mr. Harris has accepted the conditions on the applicant's behalf. And that concludes the presentation.
Will the applicant please come forward and state your name and address? And is there anything you would like to add to the record?
I'm Rico Harris of Harris Architecture, 1401 Malvern. And no, ma'am, I think really appreciate y'all coming out for just us tonight. And we're excited about it. I'm excited about this project. I think it's going to be a real asset to the community. Omar Estevez is actually my client there, and he owns El Padrino's, operates that on Albert Pike, and I think it's going to be really classy. I know it will be, and he also wants to be a good neighbor. Is interested in being a good neighbor and an integral part of the community out there. So thank you for your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Stoffer, has anybody signed up to
Nobody.
speak on this?
Nobody signed up.
Well, at this point, nobody had signed up, so at this point, commissioners, do we have any discussion that we want to take on this? Yes, sir.
I have a couple questions. Mr. Harris, are you proposing a fire protection sprinkler system in the building?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we are.
On the side to the harbor condominiums, are you proposing a new fence for that area?
We haven't, but we discussed that before. Mr. Estevez is certainly willing to put that fence up if that is something the neighbors would desire.
No,
Absolutely.
I think that was one of the concerns there, so if you had more of a privacy fence there, I think they would be acceptable to this plan. So,
Okay.
those are all my questions. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Commissioner Stafford?
A couple of questions. There were some concerns, or at least a question about boat traffic. Will there be any boat traffic?
I don't know. That's a good question that we haven't talked to Entergy yet about it. Actually, right now, it's just mud. And I think it's actually kind of mud about half the year. So I don't know. We need to explore that really to see.
Okay, all right. My other question just has to do with a concern that was in the items that were raised, and that is kind of the future plans for the building. The concern is that as I read it, that the building is quite large, and there might be other things like, instead of just a restaurant, maybe dancing and, staying open real late or whatever. These were concerns that were expressed. I just wonder if there's any response to the intent for that.
I mean, it's just it's a Mexican restaurant and cantina. I think there may be a dance floor somewhere, but it's real similar to I guess a Don Juan's or would you like to address some about your operations? Would you like to talk about that just a minute? I think Omar could probably tell you more about, actually how he's going to operate it, if that's the question.
Sure, and yeah, again, this is not a question that has anything to do with the rules and regulations
We're
that
just
we're talking
curious
about.
more
It's
than
just
anything.
a concern that was expressed by.
Please state your name and address.
My name is Omar Esteves. I'm the owner and got this project, I guess, and it's really nice. I'm very excited about it. And we will have some live music in it,
Okay.
some
Okay.
live bands on it. Yes, of course. Yeah, if it's what you want to know. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that's nothing different than what was at Hogs.
No,
Pizza.
sir, it's very similar.
Yeah. I just,
Actually, I could add to what Omar was saying. When we start designing the building, he had mentioned wanting to keep the music, a band or any kind of DJ music would be downstairs and directed into the building. What he wants to do is try to contain as much of the sound as possible inside the building,
right.
Thank
and
you.
just out of consideration of the neighbors.
No, I appreciate that. I
Yes, sir.
just wanted you to know that was something
good
that
question.
had come up.
Yes, sir.
Hours of operation, when you're closing on Friday and Saturday nights and.
The only late hours I will be Saturday at 2:00 in the morning. And the other hours will be normal hours, 11 to 10, Saturday to Friday.
So essentially, whatever your liquor permit is going to allow, as far
Uh,
as your beverage service.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you already have your liquor license?
Sir?
Do you have your liquor license already?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Commissioner Baker, do you have any questions?
Well, one of the things that were in one of the emails that someone asked was the term assembly occupancy. Can you explain that to me a little better?
Yeah, that's a classification in the building code and is the type of use where people come together and stay there. So an assembly occupancy would include something like this, a restaurant, could be an auditorium, could be, there are many, many different varied uses.
Nothing
That
that
are
corresponds with
classified that way.
residency or anything like that, though. Okay.
No.
I'm reading the codes.
Commissioner Erickson, do you have any questions for that?
No questions.
Commissioner? Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. So I have a motion to approve item 1. This is with staff report findings and recommendations for approval. Mr. Starter, will you please call the roll?
Could I clarify?
Yes.
There, in the staff report, there were 5 recommendations for conditions. Subsequent to the comments that came in from 70 West Fire District, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 were added. And we discussed the 6-foot solid wood privacy fence along the common property line with the harbor HPR. So a couple of things. One is to be sure that your motion intended to include the staff report findings as amended to be 11, and are you interested, or was that just a matter of curiosity, in adding condition number 12, which would be the 6-foot solid wood privacy fence along that common property line?
Thank you for bringing that back up. I wrote it down, and I didn't mention it.
I would like that to be
Okay.
added.
And I honestly, I don't disapprove of that, so I would like for the number 12, so
So,
with addition from number 6 to 12.
okay, all right. And that would be then a motion to amend the original motion to approve with staff report
Yes, a motion to
findings or
amend
recommendations?
the initial
Right.
report of
So,
staff findings and recommendations.
and do we have a second? on
Second.
that? Okay. Okay, did you get what you need? And do you want to call the roll
Yes,
on that?
Mr. Starter, please recall the roll.
Erickson,
I approve.
Stafford,
Approve?
Baker,
Approve.
Gerke,
Approve.
Walker,
Approve.
Ramick,
Approve?
Hobby.
Approve, thank you.
All right,
Um,
and now.
Going forward, yes, now
yes.
it is to,
On the motion to approve, as
to-
amended.
as amended, with the staff report and findings as amended. This is a motion to approve.
Stafford,
I'll make a motion to approve the staff findings as amended.
Okay, thank
I
you.
second that.
Thank you. Mr. Starter, I think we need to call the roll on this one as well.
Stafford,
Approve?
Baker,
Approve.
Gerke,
Approve.
Walker,
Approve.
Ramick,
Approve?
Erickson,
Approve.
Hobby.
Approve, thank you. The next item on the agenda is the director's report. Director Selman?
Yes, thank you. The National Planning Conference is coming up, and we do have an option to attend remotely. It will be, I believe, at the end of May. Do you remember, Rick?
Not exactly.
Well, it's coming up in the spring anyway, and it's not tomorrow, so we'll get you the detailed information. But if you are interested in attending, the city can pay your registration. And if you'll just let me know sometime within the next couple of weeks, if you have interest in doing that. Then it's, I believe, 3 days commitment, and there will be a schedule of what's going to be covered. So we'll get that to you as soon as we can.
Do we know where it's at?
It will be in your home.
Oh, okay, so it's only virtual.
It is.
Okay.
Yes, it is in San Diego, but we do not
Yes,
have
I
a
approve.
San
Let's
Diego
go.
budget. I
Oh,
know.
Love
Yeah,
Would you
that
please
city.
follow this up with an email?
yes.
Thank you.
Yep, sure will.
Aw.
Okay. That's gonna be a busy weekend for you.
Yeah, it's okay though.
Okay, that would be us, May
Yes.
18
That would be me.
through 20. Okay, and we will get you an email on that. And that's all I have. Well, no, that's not all I have. We have been interviewing to fill our new positions and believe we may have found a development counterplanner. This is our development concierge, who is going to help to translate what people are trying to do into what it is we need to know from them to approve them doing it. So it should simplify matters for people who come in. Most of the people we see are not professionals. They don't know what they're asking, and sometimes that leads to confusion. So this will be an interpreter between the public and the planning department, and we have great expectations that this will help make development activity a more pleasant experience on the front end. So
Outstanding.
we're excited about that.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I thought I had seen a posting for a preservation.
Yes,
Position.
we advertised that, and unfortunately, when it was advertised, the education and experience asked for an accountant. And so we did not get the type of applicants we thought we would. So that's been reposted. We have had interest from at least one person who has an actual degree in historic preservation planning. So we're very excited about that as well, and hope within the next few weeks to be able to say that we have secured those people and that we'll be able to ramp up our level of activity there. The preservation planner will be about 50% historic preservation and 50% comprehensive plan. So that will help us to make sure that the comprehensive plan, work plan, actually gets moving along, and that those goals that the community works so hard to put together will be implemented. So this is a very, very exciting time for us, a little hectic, but we're excited
These are
about
good
it.
problems to have.
Yeah, they're great problems to have.
Are these, is that 2 net new hires
Yeah, mhm.
for your department?
It is, yeah.
Excellent.
And we have not had that situation for probably 13 years, so it's pretty cool.
Outstanding.
Nice. Keep the growth going.
Yes, yeah.
Any other comments, concerns, questions?
It does sound like we're gonna have money to repair our roads,
It does.
so that's a good thing.
There's so much activity in my neighborhood just on other aspects. It's just exciting. It really, really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's part of the reason I think we're all sitting here. With that, no further business to discuss. We are ready to adjourn the February 10th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting. Have a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we adjourn.
And I second
Ah,
Mr.
okay.
Ramick's motion.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
y'all.